This time on Lifelinks. Our reporters meet young people held back by borders and walls. Borderlines is this time's hashtag. Gunnar meets a Mexican banned from the United States despite his service in the US Marines. In the West Bank, Yalda meets a woman confronted with a militarized border right on her doorstep. And Joel accompanies a Syrian refugee on his arduous journey into the European Union. As Germany celebrates 25 years of reunification, walls continue to divide. Use our hashtag to join the conversation.
Barricades, soldiers and checkpoints. They don't just separate the Palestinian territories from Israel. Here in the West Bank, they also split the city of Hebron.
Is it okay if we pass?
Apparently it's not. I'm with Sundus, a Palestinian student who lives on the other side of this checkpoint, right by a Jewish settlement.
We know the rules more than you, we know.
Okay, where you live?
There.
Where?
We go straight then left.
Which family?
Azza.
Shparat Azza? And this your friend?
Yeah.
You want to go to your house?
Yeah, to my house.
Before we do something, we tell the Hamal in the basis everything.
Okay. But you see, we have guns. We have guns. We have guns here.
I don't tell you have a gun and you.
No, but what is the, just tell me what the problem is. Like, why wouldn't you want me to go there?
Security reason.
The soldiers are here to protect Israeli settlers from attacks. And from us too, I guess.
Is okay?
No.
Excuse me, it's not my job to call them attack or to call anyone from Israeli government, okay?
You want your friends to go there? You have to do something.
You have to do something. He's the commander, he can do something. Yeah, it's not my business.
It's not my business. Your friend don't come.
So
no,
it's not
she
my
can.
business, don't go upstairs. Okay, you want me to pass the phone to the commander who told me to call you?
I don't know who is. I think he speaks Arab. I don't know if he speaks Hebrew.
He speaks Hebrew.
There is a settlement, and for me, I have the permission to go there. And anyone, I have a lot of visitors. They came from here. They passed from this street, and it was no problems. There is no problem for special journalists as international. It's not. It's allowed to them to be anywhere they want. So it's a little bit like, I don't know.
So why do you think they're doing it?
This is, I don't know. Some soldiers really, it depends to their moods. Some soldiers, they said, okay, it's our job, we have to do it, but still don't know.
So what did he say? Who was that now?
He's from the Matak. Okay. The Matak is responsible for the communication between us and the Palestinians. Basically, there was a misunderstanding.
No comment.
So we're good to go now?
Yes, you can go. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and everything, but the procedure is complicated a little bit.
This border is not disputed. It's here to keep foreigners out. Border patrols detained almost 500,000 people last year alone. Here at the southern edge of the United States. On weekends, US border guards open up what's called Friendship Park. Here family and friends on both sides of the border are reunited. Well, sort of. So Mexicans living in the US illegally can see their loved ones. I'm here to see Daniel, who wants to come to the US, but can't.
So I'm actually not allowed to talk to Daniel across the border for security reasons.
For me, Crossing the fence is no problem. It's a quick drive from California down to Tijuana in northern Mexico. That's where Daniel's been living for the past 4 years. His parents, brother and sister are 4 of the 12 million people who live in the US undocumented. He lived there too for 10 years before he had to go.
And just looking at that border, I mean, doesn't it make you feel angry?
Angry? No. Kind of more of like sad, you know, like I just want to jump up, run over and go home. But I can't.
But you could. I mean, some people do that.
Yeah, but then what? You know, I would still be stuck in a place where I couldn't go to work, I couldn't go to school, I couldn't have a life like I wanted to. So yeah, you could just jump the border and be over there and pick fruit and vegetables for 8 hours an hour. I mean, it's not as easy or as comfortable as most people think.
Are there moments when you seriously consider doing it?
Yeah, of course. My mother just survived cancer, and at some point she was really sick. And for a moment there, I thought she wasn't going to make it. So I was planning of crossing the desert illegally into the United States, just so I could see my mother.
Daniel didn't just live in the US. He risked his life in battle for the US as a Marine in Iraq. But when they found out he wasn't a US citizen, they kicked him out.
In the military, we have the saying of no man left behind. Well, they're leaving us behind, you know? They're making it so our service is not good enough just because we had the bad luck of not being born in the United States. I mean, we're not just illegals who have been deported. We are, and we will always be at heart, Americans who have been banished, you know, who have been left out from the one place that we love.
In the past months, this has become one of the most infamous borders in the world. It's part of the route taken by refugees trying to get into the European Union. I came here to cross the border with them just 2 weeks before Hungary shut it completely. I was among the last of tens of thousands who snuck under the razor wire or crossed into the EU on these railroad tracks. My journey begins in Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, looking for someone willing to take me along on their trip. Serbia grants migrants 72 hours of legal residency, and that makes Belgrade a crucial resting spot. Rumors were rampant about police dragnets and thieves at the border. But despite the risks, a young Syrian engineer named Sami agreed to bring me along.
Nowadays, it's very hard to be in Syria. It's our country. I hope that maybe I kiss the ground, and I hope that we can find a solution for this big problem.
What was like the moment that you thought, okay, it's time to go to Germany, I need to make this trip?
Yeah,
when did you decide?
It's very hard this decision, because I have to end all things, my living in my home with my friends. I have to finish my work. It's a very hard decision to stop all things and go in this dark way.
Yeah, it's a very, very tough situation.
It's good to be safe here in Belgrade.
Yeah, good.
It's
been 3 weeks since Sami and his friends left the Middle East. Now we're waiting for a bus to take us closer to the next border, Hungary. For Sami and thousands of others, it's their point of entry into the EU.
We are obliged now to walk in this path because no countries want Syrians to come. And why? Nothing. is really honest to be feared from Syrians. Nothing.
Sami wants to cross the border at night. He's hoping we can avoid a run-in with the police.
In this Jewish-Israeli settlement in Hebron, avoidance is the name of the game. No one has a problem with me using the roads. But Sundus, who lives here, isn't allowed to, because she's Palestinian. This is the path she takes to get home. Today, 2 Israeli acquaintances are visiting from Tel Aviv. Besides the settlers, not many Jewish Israelis come here. For the guests, it's a 2-hour drive into an unfamiliar world.
So these are actually the settlements?
Yeah, here's the settlement. Yeah.
Sundus's neighbour is a well-known right-wing nationalist politician. Conflict here seems pretty much unavoidable.
First time he threw stones and we were here. Second time I was here and I took a stone here. And the third time we were there, but and he was here, so he threw stones there, but no one injured.
Do you appreciate Israeli people coming over here?
Yeah, it's really nice because it's completely different between Israelis and Israeli settlers. Be careful because Jews, it's not like these people, you know.
Do you think that by building up the wall, the separation wall between the two sides, the Green Line, does that make it worse?
The wall is there because before that there was, a suicide bomber every other month. I just think that this is good for putting out a fire, but it's not. It's far from being a long-term solution. It's only, aggregating bitterness and anger, and no wonder we are, experiencing what we are experiencing.
Sundus gives tours to visitors from other countries, telling them her side of the story. A story of the ongoing struggle between Palestinians and settlers, where tensions regularly end in violence, perpetrated by both sides.
A settler woman, she catch my brother, took a big stone and she tried to put the stone inside his mouth, but luckily he closed his teeth and she only crushed in his teeth, which is like Israeli soldiers came and saw what happened, and they saw exactly what the settler woman make to my brother. Luckily, when the court happened, the soldier told the court the truth.
Do you think there's anything that we can do as people from Europe?
I was in Europe and sometimes I heard from a lot of people, they asked me where I'm from, so I said Palestine. So they said, what? Where is Palestine? So this is really big problem for me and it's really hard.
The 22-year-old acts as a kind of ambassador, whether or not she even has a country.
Yeah. So nothing in Syria, maybe nothing about Syria.
Sami shows me how we'll walk along the railroad tracks and sneak through the farms. It's one of the last open routes across the border.
Maybe here or something like this. After the wall, we'll go in corn farms.
Are you feeling okay right now, or is it pretty?
Yeah, a little bit worried. Yeah, but I believe in God, so. May God protect us, yeah.
It's around 11 p.m., and we're now closer to one of the toughest borders on Sami's journey. We have 2 options, walk or take a taxi. The driver wants 50 euros to take us 5 kilometers. It's a ripoff, but it's nothing compared to the thousands Sami already spent to make it this far, and to what we'll encounter later. So what's the plan?
We'll cross the border, without any sounds, cigarettes, and phones lights. We will turn off all things just keep walking, yeah. And we don't know what maybe we'll see it, but yeah, we'll go.
And so are you going to go with the whole group all together?
Yeah, the whole group, because we are worried about that maybe anyone can steal our money. So we have to be in groups, and we can protect ourselves to reach the final station. Yeah, 5 بالسيارة. يلا. Prepare yourself to come, hurry.
5%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hurry up, please.
We will be together there.
Yeah, please hurry. Organize yourself.
Okay.
Each group 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because no bus until tomorrow 8 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you.
Police on the Serbian side don't even try to stop us. They seem happy with the cash they're getting from the taxis. Okay. Okay. How are we doing?
Yeah. I feel a bit worried.
What's that?
Yeah, a bit worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the bus because the control is very overcrowded.
Yeah.
In this area. Yeah, just keep walking. And if we see any police, we will directly escape.
How far do we have to walk tonight?
Around 5 kilometers. We are worried that helicopters and something like a war here. It's real war. Yeah. We don't know here police cars and helicopters everywhere, yeah.
بدك تعدي من هون، يعني ما اعتقد انه نقطة هيك. منو؟ يا اخي ب1000 واحد يا زلمة. اسمع منا يا اخي. العالم قدام.
It's been 4 years since Daniel ended up on what he sees as the wrong side of the border. He's had to build a new life in Mexico, find new friends, and figure out how to make ends meet. The 29-year-old lives with his grandma here in Tijuana, his old hometown.
Hola. Bueno, qué bueno, gracias a Dios. ¿Cómo te fue? ¿Cómo te fue? ¿Bien?
Igual, venimos.
Ok.
¿Cómo está, primo?
Ándale, pues. No, nada, gracias.
Putting away the past hasn't been easy for Daniel. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Of course, to enlist, Daniel claimed he had US citizenship. The Marine Corps turned a blind eye.
You lied when you enlisted.
Yeah.
Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wasn't born in the United States, but it was the only way to enlist. And had the opportunity to serve the country that I was living in. You know, there's always, when you grow up as a Mexican in the United States, there's always this stigma of, you know, taking our jobs, or they're just feeding off the system. And I didn't want to be another Mexican living in the United States. I wanted to be able to say, hey, you know what, I did something. I served this country, and I was willing to put my life on the line for it.
After he got kicked out of the Marines, Daniel faced deportation. He chose to leave voluntarily instead.
Hello?
Madre.
Hijo.
¿Qué pasa, ma?
¿Cómo estás, hijo?
Bien. ¿Cómo?
Entonces espero que...
Now phone calls are the closest he can get to his family.
A lo mejor lo va a querer trabajar, como que lo pagan un poco más.
There are 1.3 million people living in Tijuana, but like Daniel, many of them don't want to be here. They're waiting for the chance to make it to the States. Some have already lived there, been deported, and are hoping to get back.
Atrás!
Daniel thought he could build a future here. He started university. Next year, he'll finish his degree in law. But over the past 4 years, his hopes about living in this country have faded. Now he can't imagine staying.
The thing is that when I got here to Mexico, I didn't realize how American I was until I got to Mexico, you know? And that's when it hit me that I don't identify with the culture, I don't identify with the people, I don't identify with its government, with its political system, with the way they do things.
Staying here and accepting what happened and just...
Sundus identifies very much with her culture, although sometimes she'd prefer not to wear her headscarf. But the people in the Arab part of Hebron are quite conservative. Nonetheless, she'd rather live there than in the Jewish settlement. But that's not an option for her family. The house where they live belongs to relatives, and they don't want to leave it to settlers. She wants to show me around Hebron's ancient city centre. To get there, we have to go through another checkpoint, one of around 20 here. Sundus passes through them several times a day on her way to university, to the shops, whenever she wants to go anywhere. 200,000 people live in Hebron, making it the biggest city in the West Bank. It's also the only one with Jewish settlements at the center of town. This place, the Tomb of Abraham, makes it a holy city for both Jews and Muslims. Thousands of Israeli soldiers are stationed here to protect around 600 Jewish settlers. Unrest here is commonplace. The city is witness to attacks, riots and murders on both sides, some incredibly heinous acts.
The Palestinians put this fence also to protect themselves from settlers' stones. Of course, it doesn't protect them from dirty water, and also they throw like chemical water.
Really?
Yeah.
This was once the busiest street in the city. That's before it was blocked off for the settlers. And more than 1,800 Palestinian shops were shut down. Sundus isn't allowed to come here, but I am, and I want to talk to the settlers.
No, I don't know English. No.
Not what I was asking.
What did you want to ask? Sorry, I can't. Don't speak English.
No. You do. You're just answering in English. Oh. You don't speak English.
Finally, this student from a religious school agrees to talk to me.
We have to take guns with us.
You have to take guns with you?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because it's dangerous. Look, I believe that this country it's our country for 1,000 years. I believe that God gave it to Abraham. It's ours.
Have you also heard of settlers attacking Palestinians?
We?
No, not
we
you,
them.
but there are some who do
here,
that.
Not at all. Here now, if some Palestinians attack me, so I defend myself, but we don't fight them at all. You think they want us here? You think they want peace?
I think it's
complicated.
It's complicated.
Sadly, the longer I'm here and the more I talk to people on both sides, the less hope I have that this conflict will ever end.
The hours drag on as Sami and I make our way down the tracks toward Hungary. A man appears out of the darkness and offers to take us safely across, for 100 euros each. We don't pay, but the experience cultivates our confusion and fear. We crouch at every sound and pause to debate the route amidst the tension. Eventually, we reach the border, guarded by a single police car. Those who stay on the tracks end up at this makeshift police camp. Buses are running here around the clock to take them on to bigger camps.
Go back, please. Go back.
Instead, we cut through cornfields toward a gas station. A black market has developed here with people offering to get us to Budapest for a hefty fee. It's a scary scene of mobsters and profiteers stoking fears to get higher rates.
Please come with us to Klaus the Yara.
As we drive away, the first thing Sami does is call his family.
They are waiting for any news from me.
Do you think they'll be happy that you made it into the EU?
Yeah, of course. And I think they are proud of me. I'm ready to complete my very bad trip. Yeah.
There were definitely some moments that were tense.
Yeah, of course. And all my life.
But yeah, it's 5 kilometers.
5 kilometers. Okay, let's go.
You want to walk it?
Yeah, well, I want to walk it. I think no problem.
Now that we're in Budapest, instead of another expensive taxi ride, we're getting to the hotel by foot.
Tijuana is a city of broken dreams. Every day here, people climb over the fence. Lots of them get picked up and are sent right back to Mexico. Last year, US Border Patrol stopped almost 500,000 people on the other side of the fence, most of them Mexicans. In that same time, the US deported almost 180,000 Mexicans. Deported US soldiers in Tijuana come here to Hector Barajas, himself a US veteran who's also trying to help Daniel out.
Daniel's case is a little unique because he was undocumented, but most of us served legally. We were in the United States legally. We were drafted into combat in the Vietnam War. So these were people that put their life on the line for the American government.
Why, for example, your own case, or like most people, why are they deported?
The majority of the veterans that are being deported committed some type of crime after they were in the military, or while in the military, but the majority after. So we got out, served in Afghanistan and the Gulf War with honorable discharges. After the military, because a lot of the men are suffering from post-traumatic syndrome, they come back from the war, they don't know how to cope with it, they start drinking, they might start using, then in order to keep that habit, they might rob somebody or steal something, and then bam, they go to jail, they get deported.
Hector and others in his position feel they've been given double punishment. First thrown in jail, then sent packing. There are no official figures on how many US veterans have been deported, but Hector says it's got to be more than 3,000.
So I have some good news for you, and this is an email from the ACLU, and this is not 100%, but this is what I have. Have you spoken to the individual who you mentioned had falsely claimed U.S. citizenship on his application for the military? It does not appear that would bar his naturalization, and basically to put you in contact with her. So you might go home, brother.
Perfect. Perfect. That's
small harder now.
Yeah, that's what I needed, man. And just some lawyer to look at it.
Come on. Yeah, and that'll end his nightmare, So.
Great. Perfect. I don't know. It's too much. Like I'm excited. I don't wanna like jinx it. I don't wanna get my hopes up. I just want to do it one step at a time, and hopefully it works out and I get to get home. Definitely, that's what I want.
American Coca-Cola.
Just looking at Daniel, you'd hardly know it's the news he's been hoping to hear for years. He's probably just too afraid of getting his hopes up in case it doesn't work out.
I didn't choose to come to the United States, but it's a place that I fell in love with and I now call my home. And all those mistakes that has been made in the past, I just hope I don't have to pay for them for the rest of my life.
While thousands of refugees are taking to the streets, Sami is hiding out in this rundown hotel. Police are here checking people's papers and making arrests. Clearly, they've heard there are undocumented migrants. Sami's hotel is even charging refugees 15 euros a night just to sleep in the lobby. Sami waits until the coast is clear. When the police are finally gone, he comes out to meet me. The 28-year-old is more than a little scared. We waited for a while, you left.
I didn't make any problem in all my life.
You definitely do not seem like a guy who's making a lot of problems.
I'm not a smoker. I didn't have any alcohol in all my life and drugs, no tattoo, no things like this. Just I'm a normal person. I don't know what my mother will feel. Yeah, if she sees this film, because she will see all this pressure and yeah.
It would definitely make my mom worried. I can tell you that much. I believe it. Yeah. We go shopping for the next leg of Sami's journey. Little does he know, he'll be calling me from Sweden just a few days later. You gonna go back to the hotel?
Yeah. I think it's better. The police are here, so maybe they are very close. So please, we have to go.
The wall between Israel and the West Bank stretches more than 700 kilometers, and its construction is nowhere near complete. Right behind this wall is Jerusalem. Sundus has family there, but to visit them she needs special permission, and that is not easy to get.
Do you think if this wall would not exist anymore, that would change anything?
First, we are under occupation, and if there's no wall, Israeli government will put more and more checkpoints. So in my opinion, I don't think so that it will change anything. I'd like to be free in my land, to go anywhere I want without any checkpoint, without any permissions. But of course, we are all optimistic. We are patient also. So yeah, I hope so something will change in the future. I don't know.
Change is a big word in Israel and the West Bank, where religion and politics have created huge walls that cut through the land, and worse still, through people's hearts and minds.